Hello, I'm coming to you today from South Carolina. My name is Ronica Sojourner, and I am recording this video for my petition on change.org. It's entitled, Register Domestic Abusers and Make Them Hate Criminals. Again, that's Register Domestic Abusers and Make Them Hate Criminals. My name is Ronica Sojourner. Last name Sojourner like Sojourner Truth. I'm going to start with a few statistics. In 2010, U.S. state and local child protective services received an estimated 3.3 million reports of children being abused or neglected. In 2010, an estimated 1,560 children died from child maltreatment, and also 34% of the victims were younger than 4 years of age, with children younger than 1 having the highest rate of victimization. Moving along to female victims or adult victims. An estimated 1.3 million women are victims of physical assault by an intimate partner each year. 85% of domestic violence victims are women. That's 85%. Almost 1/3 of female homicide victims that are reported in police records are killed by an intimate partner, and that's termed femicide. Moving along to stalking, which I consider a form of domestic abuse, or a form of abuse to another person. 46% of stalking victims experience at least one unwanted contact per week. 11% of stalking victims have been stalked for over 5 years. Can you imagine having someone stalk you for a period of over 5 years? Can you imagine what your quality of life is like, or what it would be like to have someone, an unwanted person in your life for over 5 years? And that's devastating. I mean, your quality of life is totally diminished. 5 months and it's diminished. For 5 years. 67% of intimate partner femicide victims have been physically abused by their intimate partner. And there are 16,800 homicides and 2.2 million medically treated injuries due to intimate partner violence annually, which costs $37 billion. Now, this does not just extend to men attacking women or men attacking children. This goes the other way too. For women attacking men and women attacking children. National, I'm going to tell you where I got my statistics from. The Centers for Disease Control, the website, they have a violence prevention website, web page there. The National Center for Injury Prevention and Control. They have the Child Maltreatment PDF available for you to download there on their webpage. The National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. They have a domestic violence fact sheet. It's on a PDF that you can download from their webpage. And the Office of Violence Against Women. Their stalking fact sheet. There's a PDF for you to download. And retrieve that from the U.S. Department of Justice Office on Violence Against Women. Now, let me explain the title of my petition a little further. It says, Register Domestic Abusers and Make Them Hate Criminals. I say, well, wait a minute. How do you intend to make a domestic abuser or a stalker a hate criminal? Well, it's kind of abstract, but I personally feel it's applicable, and that is to establish a pattern So, well, yeah, a pattern, but you have to have some form of prejudice, some form of bias, some form of, it has to be something where you're discriminating against a protected class. That's absolutely correct. My take on it is this. Usually when someone decides to abuse a person, that's usually not an isolated incident. Most of the time, when a man or a woman has gone from one relationship to the next, they will display those same behavioral patterns. So if he decided to abuse the person before, he's probably going to abuse that next girlfriend, or she's probably going to abuse that next boyfriend as well. Or he's going to abuse the next child. He's going to do something. If you can establish a pattern of abuse and a pattern of maltreatment against someone, then that in turn can be taken as a bias against that person. So this guy, let's take Guy A. Guy A has abused 3 women. And it can be proven that he's abused 3 women in his past. Then he can be interpreted as having a bias against the female gender because he's abusive. If he's abused more than 1 child, or, and this is physical abuse because we do have sexual offender registries, but this is physical abuse. It should not just be interpreted as assault or battery. It should be seen as a hate crime also, especially if it can be proven that he's done that more than once. He's done that on more than a family of children. He's hit 3 of the 4 children, or he's hit 4 of 4 children. Then that should be considered a hate crime because he has hit that person or a class of people. Now, with children, it gets a little trickier, and this is my take on it. This is personal. I'm not a lawyer. Like I said, some of this is kind of abstract, kind of, going a little bit left. But my take is, I was in psychology class. We were speaking about ageism. If you could take ageism in reverse and apply it to a child, and then have that child's age be considered a disability, because that child has to depend on a guardian for their care. So that child has to depend on a guardian for their care. Then that can be, if it can be interpreted as a disability, then that disability can be seen as one of the protected class. So if he has a bias against that, if he interpreted that he has bias against that particular age and thus disability, and that person can be seen as a hate criminal because of that. Like I said, it's a little abstract, but it is on my petition. This is the 2nd time I've run this petition. I didn't get as many signatures as I'd like to last time, and I do intend to take it to legislators should I receive as many as I would like to see, and that's at least over 100,000 signatures. But going back to the hate crime part, when you say, well, stalkers also, yes, stalkers. If it can be shown that this person has stalked more than once, and if there could be, if they have a pattern where they're stalking women, and you show that, oh, okay, well, he stalked 3 women, or 2 women, or 3 women, then that can be seen as maybe he has a fixation or a bias against the female gender. So this is kind of my rationale. This is my explanation or my rationale for saying make them hate criminals as well as just, like a regular criminal. I then want to take it a step further, especially for domestic abuse and for child maltreatment. If a person domestically abuses an intimate partner or abuses children, there should be a registry for that. We put them up for sex offenders, and sex offenders are seen as some of the most heinous criminals out there. But men who hit women, men who hit children, these kinds of things, I like to nickname it the date registry, so that people can go and check to see who they're dating or who's out here in the dating world. Because if you have a partner who has dated, who has criminal history, and you want to sit and check to see exactly what that criminal history is, then there should be a registry out there that lets you know, or something as familiar to people as a sex offender registry, and lets them know that this person will beat up on your children or will beat up on you. So they will physically assault you, they will physically assault and batter your children. There should be something established so that people can be made aware of that. And not just, oh, I had to go and look and dig around on the internet, or I had to use Intellius or Instant Checkmate or some of the other internet services to figure this stuff out. It should be as readily available as a sex offender registry, so that people can understand. And even in the instance where it's turned around and a woman has done it to a man, a woman has done it to a child, so that people know if that, hey, this person is capable of physical assault. You need to watch out, so that you don't end up dating that person and wasting your time, and then possibly get yourself killed or injured. I think that there should be a registry, and I'd like to call it the date registry. I mean, just to kind of give it a slang name or a nickname, call it the date registry. And that's for people who do offend or harm women or children. And that's physically, not just sexually. I attended a conference in May of last year, that's 2013, called the Annual Battered Mothers Custody Conference. And it was a very informative conference. Had a great time listening to some of the speakers there. They had good information. And I received something there called the Post-Separation Power and Control Wheel from the Domestic Abuse Intervention Program centered in Duluth, Minnesota. On that, they actually have a library of wheels. And if you go and check it out, it's www.theduluthmodel.org. Duluth is spelled D-U-L-U-T-H, Duluth. www.theduluthmodel.org. You can check out their library of wheels that they have there. These wheels outline some of the characteristics of domestic abuse. They go into certain scenarios. They go into patterns of abuse. These kinds of things to let you know, to help you identify and characterize an abuser and circumstances that are characterized as abusive circumstances. I bring that up because I'm also going to be doing a couple other videos on my YouTube channel entitled The Wheel of Misfortune Videos. Well, I intend to use this wheel, the Post-Separation Power and Control Wheel, this particular wheel, to outline a case study from the conference. And this is a real person. This is going to outline and see how this particular wheel applies to that particular person's life and their abusive situation. So, again, I want to thank you for listening to my video. I want to thank you for having patience with me. And please go to change.org, look for registered domestic abusers, make them hate criminals, under Ronica Sojourner. Please sign my petition. I really would have liked and appreciate your support on this endeavor. Like I said, I would like to take it to legislators to see if we can make some laws change. And that is pretty much it for today. So thank you for listening. Again, registered domestic abusers, make them hate criminals. My name is Ronica Sojourner.